I played a few games on a gold smurf, but turned invert mouse on to simulate having radiant Gamesense with bronze tier aim. I wanted to prove that you can both get impact kills and carry games in gold elo, even with far below average aim. If you've never tried playing with this setting, as normal people probably should, you can't understand just how hard it is to aim with it until you try it. Anyways, we'll get into how this affected me more later. I want to show you how to find holes in the enemy's default and correctly position yourself when holding angles to trade or be traded by your teammates. But first, I'll cover some more micro aspects of the game that are always important, but were magnified when I had zero trust in my aim to get me out of situations where I misplayed. Aim is so based off of muscle memory, even though I knew, and was constantly thinking about how I needed to pull up to control a spray, for example, my muscle memory would always take over in gunfights. I'd be slightly above the target, and my gut reaction to pull down would make this gap bigger, leading to a feedback loop resulting in me shooting the sky and confused teammates.
You need to go find a new game.
If my aim was at bronze level, or even worse, how did I get any kills in a gold or plat game? Well, I focused extra hard on my fundamentals. Pay attention to the kills I'm getting. Notice how when players swing me, my crosshair is almost perfectly on their head. That is because almost every instance where my crosshair placement was not absolutely perfect, I would essentially anti-aim and lose the gunfight. Look at how much extra stress and effort I put into slowly clearing every angle on this take perfectly. If I were to do this on my normal setup, I could clear all of these same spots with just as good, probably better crosshair placement in less than a second. Long story short, almost every FPS guide ever will tell you, oh, you need good crosshair placement. What I wanted to prove here was twofold. I wanted to demonstrate the importance of crosshair placement rather than just tell you, and more importantly, that crosshair placement is separate from aim, and with good enough attention, any level player can have excellent crosshair placement instantly. Aim takes months, if not years, to train. However, you can have excellent radiant level crosshair placement instantly if you are willing to focus on every angle you swing like I did here. After a while of doing this, it will eventually become your habit and you can achieve it without so much thought, as I do if I'm not playing inverted. The second micro aspect of the game I wanted to highlight was my reliance on utility. While I show plays throughout this video, consider how many of them were the result of my own utility, a suck or a trip. The point being, if you're having a bad day, or you feel you're often outmatched, play an agent with high impact utility that doesn't rely on mechanics, that can give you an advantage in gunfights such as Sova, Cypher, Killjoy, or Astra. Moving past my aim, let's take a look at the second most important concept I use to compensate for my aim: trading. In this clip, my Raze runs into Garage.
I don't know why this Raze, but I have to trade her.
Blind, which I don't want to do. However, correctly, I follow her. Valorant is a team game, and you don't win by letting your teammates die. You want to put yourself in a spot where you are not ever too far from your teammate to fight with or avenge them, but you also have to give them space. Being on top of your teammates increases the chance you interfere with their movement, and the chance that both of you get killed by one defender. Getting this perfect is almost impossible. Positioning for a trade is something that still gets messed up at the highest level of play. However, your main takeaway from this should be that if a teammate is entering when you don't want them to, or simply clearing a contested space alone, it is almost always better if you play with them. I firmly believe that a well-coordinated bad play almost always beats the correct play without coordination. The most important way I planned to compensate for not being able to aim was with my Gamesense. I wanted to lurk on attack and move between sites on defense to ensure that I had as many opportunities to swing rounds. Thus, I picked agents that would fit this playstyle well: Cypher and Astra. Starting on attack, I want to analyze how I lurked, but still secured the most important kills in rounds. I believe there's a common misconception with lurking, that any kills justify a lurk. However, this is not the case. Often, all you need is that one kill to change your round, and a different lurk that resulted in 3 kills may actually be useless. Let's look at an example of each. In these two nearly identical setups, my team is headed A, and I managed to lurk into back B site. In the first clip, my lurk kills no one, but I set up util and hold the site with my team. winning us the round. In the second, I opt for the free kill, but as I quickly realize, this was a mistake. This was a terrible kill because now my lurk is ruined. They know where I am separated from my team, and I am either too late to stop the defuse if I go back to my team, and if I run at them, I likely have to peek into a 1v2 or a 1v3. My lurk lost us this round. Lastly, there's the obvious question I did not address yet. How did I manage to get this position twice in a row? It's a combination of the minimap and sound. I'm paying attention to the minimap to figure out where their players are, while at the same time playing off of sound to know where exactly I can advance. In both of these clips, I audibly hear the B player leave, and that's how I know I'm free to enter the site. Except, you obviously cannot get away with such lurks every round, so let's look at another type of lurk. Instead of lurking aggressively, you should lurk passively, where you are essentially just holding a push. In this clip I say,
This guy's gonna push A 100% I guarantee.
and catching that push became the difference in this round. But how did I know that this would happen? Our team pressured mid and C. However, this push got stalled out and we had accounted for everyone except their neon. Their jet was C and so was a killjoy turret, their KO was making noise and peeking garage, and their Astra was swinging mid. I figured if the neon hadn't rotated to help Astra at B yet, when she saw our entire team, she must have been pushing A, which she was. Once this happened, I picked up on their tendency to push A, which resulted in another kill later in the half. Moving to the defensive side, one of the most important concepts, especially with Sentinel agents like Cypher, is tweaking your setups almost every round to stay ahead of the enemy's attempts to counter you. Sentinels can often get into a bad mindset of, I'm holding B, it is not my fault my team couldn't hold A, when, in a sense, it actually is your fault. Remember, avoiding you is in a way countering you. A perfect example of how to avoid this comes at the beginning of my Cypher game. After successfully defending C and catching players on my trips, I expect them to avoid me and go A. There, I again get a free kill and an assist with my util, setting up for an easy round win. This is an oversimplification, but the point is that you should change your setups often, and that doesn't even mean just changing sites. You should also have multiple setups for each site. Furthermore, this applies to non-Sentinel players as well. Nothing is more scary than knowing the enemy jet has an op, but having no clue where she could be. In this experiment, I wanted to take away my high-level aim that I've been improving for nearly a decade, to see if and how I could still be a useful teammate. I believe if you focus on your crosshair placement, trading, and awareness in the ways that I highlighted, you can easily get diamond given what I was able to achieve with aim that literally pulled my bullets away from enemies. If you made it this far, please let me know what you thought of this video. I'll have another agent guide coming soon, just had a fun idea with the invert mouse and wanted to go for it. Thanks, see you all next time.
74 on I think they're sticking. I think they're sticking.
I'm pulling them in.
Oh my god. Oh my
Clutch.
You guys are great.
That's so fucking wild.
Bro, what is this crosshair?
You always work to lift our
Guys,
spirit.